Can you spin the wheel like that? Is that a little bit of hair annoying? Because I can see it in your... Is it too sticky uppy?
No, it's fine. I'm
ready
to hear you anyway.
Oh.
Since talking about Angel spinning his wheels. You'll have to see if that airs it out. Lydia's just got very excited because the very pretty Angel has just sent her a photo of her new wheel.
My wheel's been fixed by a superb mechanic.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, right, so your Volcano Try Debrief.
Yeah.
I noticed you've got a trophy. You didn't have one from Gran Canaria, did you?
No, I didn't.
No, I did.
Yeah.
It's not about the trophies though. Unless I get more than you, then it is.
Only counts on Ironman Day.
So come on then. It does only count on Ironman Day, and at the moment that's not going so well for me, is it, against you?
No.
I don't think it's ever going to.
We'll see.
Okay,
time.
So I've got to try and ask questions as well as you did.
Yeah.
So first of all, let's tell me about Volcano Try. How'd it go?
Yeah, it was flipping good fun. So it was a week after we've done Challenge Gran Canaria, which was good because obviously I haven't raced a lot since last year. So having 2 races back to practice is really high value for me. So I had some quite clear objectives of what I really wanted to practice, and one of the key things was getting stuck into that swim right from the start.
And you started with the men, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
So it was
no one wanted to start.
Rolling start, but not really a rolling start at all. It was
basically just go, everyone
yeah.
go. So it was absolute chaos. Like I got kicked in the face, punched in the face. At one point, like I bit my tongue a little bit.
Yeah.
And
so if you were at the front,
like
it was quite washing machine-y, wasn't it? Further back it wasn't, but at the front it was a bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all in. Yeah. And which is good because what I found before is like I end up doing one or two things. Actually,
it's the paddle guys.
I can see the reflection in your sunglasses as well. Because the swim is something I've only started since I started triathlon.
Yeah.
I'm still I like the level of like concentration and focus and presence I need is just exceptionally high.
Yeah.
So I can either focus on technically swimming well, or where I actually am. And then what I've had happen in the past is the feet that I'm meant to be following have gone off somewhere else because I've been concentrating on technical form that I've just tactically lost all levels.
See, I'm confused just listening to that. Imagine how confused you must be.
Oh, I know. Imagine like it was like being in my head. But basically, it's finding
What's
it's finding that balance between being tactically aware of what's happening in the swim versus then just not swimming shit. So that's what I've been trying to bring together is that I'm not missing opportunity by missing the feet that I need to be on, but equally not swimming harder or like just for a higher RPE than I need to, just through not concentrating on that piece as well.
Everyone got that?
Basically,
swimming's hard.
Swimming's really hard, and I need to focus a lot on it. So that was a good opportunity to practice. This time I didn't do that, and I also get a little bit like, I'm probably a little bit too gentle with other people when they start to get a bit feisty in the swim.
Yeah.
And I wasn't this time. I was like, let's just have it. A little bit more like that.
I actually swam over you at Gran Canaria, but you didn't notice, did you?
No, I didn't. So that was quite good. And actually, what I've looked at is like all of the swims that I've done at Volcano previously, and every time I've done it, I've actually got a little bit quicker each time. Yeah. So it's a really good like point to reference against where my swim progression is in a race situation, alongside what I know from training as well. So that was quite good. And also, when I came out of the swim, sometimes I thought I'm absolutely dying. Yeah. Like my legs felt so tired, like historically they have, and I just didn't this time, which is also good.
Yeah, because you overkick a bit.
I do. So I've been really focusing on trying to increase like.
Because you've got little spaghetti arms.
Can I talk? Or is this just going to be 10 minutes of let's just take the piss out of lids?
I know it's too easy though.
So that was quite good to not be feeling like that, and go into transition and be like ready to go out on the bike. So coming into transition, I could see you were there.
Here we go.
I know. You had your helmet on already.
It's not about racing each other, but I could see that you were there. Yeah.
I was like, right. I could see you had your helmet on, and I'm a bit quicker than you through transition because you're a bit of a faffer.
I'm old.
I just get on with it. So I was like, right, okay, what can I do to either bridge the gap or hold it at this point? Because I'd expect it on the swim, so it was let's see what I can do with this next bit. Going out on the bike, I could see you going up the first climb, and I was caning it. Like I went into mountain bike race mode, because that's something I've also done on this race historically, is not just gone off hard enough, and embraced that feeling enough. So I was like, right, heart rate was straight up to where I was like on the 4th stage out of my race on day 1. I was like, perfect, like straight into the hurt locker. But yeah, it wasn't gonna happen of bridging it, and you were in a group as well, which helped. I was on my own. So yeah, but it was good fun still, like just trying to see if I could. So yeah, I gave it some beans on the bike, and that's what I was looking for. My other second goal was looking at getting a really solid swim to bike split, of practicing that super hard start, because you never get to practice that transition in training. So that was really good as well, just like digging in and just finding that flow and settling in, because sometimes I found that I've just like tried to fight the bike and just force power, and actually I've just been riding really inefficiently.
Yeah, I do that as well. Just stomp on the pedals
stupidly,
like a
and
twat.
I realised I'm just working really, really hard for absolutely nothing. So it's just a case of relax but work hard. I was using heart rate as just an indicator of that, because I find that quite useful. Because I've realised, especially like from the 4-stage mountain bike race and stuff, that I can work harder than I thought I could. So I'm just checking myself against that, but also cross-checking against things like RPE. I also know that we're carrying a lot of fatigue from the block we had, and like Gran Canaria a little bit last week as well. So just checking against that, but just going out, just having some fun on the bike. The course was really good fun, so that helps. And then one of the other things that I wanted to practice was coming back. So after you've done the 20k out, coming back down, it's into a headwind but downhill. And one of the things I haven't done as well in the past is sustained output. So I've often lost time and opportunity there. But this time I was like, right, okay, let's just dig in and like hold that power really consistently.
And it wasn't a windy day for Lanzarote, but it wasn't still.
No, it wasn't.
And the wind was also an odd direction, wasn't it, this time? So it was the opposite to what we normally expect. So I was like, I actually made up like, I was leading the bike, I was leading the race at this point, but in terms of like the men, I overtook about 4 or 5 on the way down. They loved that.
Which is good, because that's an area that I haven't done as well previously on, is just holding and sustaining that power.
Because obviously you're very suited to climbing, aren't you? And technical descending.
But just not a flat.
Like those long, really high-speed aero descents, as it were. Especially if it's headwind.
Exactly.
But you've got loads better at that, haven't you?
So this is a really good way to practice that as well. So like overall bike execution, I've looked at it compared to last year. It was quicker than last year and all the other times that I've done Volcano as well. And cross-referenced it against what I know about the other 2 races last year and their split. So got some really good info from.
And last year, bike split was a good performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I think it was.
It might be the fastest bike split last year. I think it was.
And I was a few minutes
against some decent bikers as well, because they're, no disrespect to the ladies here, the ranking of the athletes last year was higher in the women's field than this year, wasn't it?
It was.
So, and some of them, particularly so around the bike side of things, Sarah Perez was here, and obviously she's a strong swim biker, isn't she? And you put the fastest bike split down last year. And this year you were quicker
than
on the same course on what I think was possibly a slightly slower day.
I'd agree with that. So that was good. So that's and nice to see that improvement over this period as well. And then I had to make a decision coming off the bike into the run. I could see you were in transition, I think, and I knew the split. I think it was about 30 seconds at that point. And I was like, right, okay, do I just bury myself and see if I can make it up on the run? Or do I play it sensible and think longer term picture? I went for the latter option. I was like, well, naturally, if it happens that I bridge the gap, then it happens. But equally, I wanted to practice settling in and finding that flow.
I did think you were going to be after me, if I'm honest, because you were very close to me out of T2, because I really did it in T2, and I was thinking, that's a very small gap. I don't know if that's going to stay.
I was in a right catch-22 with it. But what I was trying to do is forward think. Like, I know that obviously the goal's Ironman Lanzarote. And it's what was the risk reward? Was it? Would I regret making the decision I made?
And this distance and course probably suits me a bit better than it does you, doesn't it?
100%.
So.
And I wanted to make sure, I've been working through a little bit of hamstring tendinopathy as well, and I wasn't creating any issues. But I actually had a really good run. So what I was really happy with was how it felt. I kept it in and around that sort of 70.3 type intensity. And just found some really good range and flow. It just felt fluid, it felt relaxed. So I was just happy with that, being able to run feeling like that. I was testing out another pair of trainers, because I was originally going to race Ironman Lanzarote and the Asics Nova Blasts, but now I'm kind of edging towards maybe using the Asics Meta Speed.
You know what I think, but
so that was good.
Because I think you're quick enough to run in the Meta Speeds, and I'm in an iron whether to run in Rocket X2s, and I'm not sure I'm fast enough because you're probably 10-15 minutes quicker than me over Ironman run distance than so
it's good equipment tests as well. But yeah, I was just sensible in the run. I just enjoyed having that feeling again. Because I knew compared to last year and the other times I've also done Volcano, because my run splits have always been pretty similar on that course. But I also, what I do is I know how it feels. I can really recall that quite well. So it felt a lot more relaxed. I was super well within myself. And in control, I just flipping enjoyed it. It was awesome just having all 5 of us out there racing, people we know out there, and just that atmosphere and experience. So it's probably one of the happiest races I've had. For quite a while really.
Which is what you want 3 weeks out from an Ironman, isn't it?
Yeah. And I knew that I raced well. I'd kind of tried to, in the quickest way I can, assess that and to evaluate it about where I was at, because I'm not as good as you are at assessing my training sessions. Quite pragmatically at times.
Not as good is probably a bit unfair, but you assess it in a different way. You find it harder to take as many bits of data and quickly cross-reference them, don't you? Yeah.
So that was another goal that I had for this race, was to be able to make that assessment and actually work that out, through that process.
Because last year you had quite a good race, but you were quite frustrated. But actually, when you went back and looked at the data with all of the things you needed to consider, all the different contributing factors, actually it was a good race for you. And of course the problem is it's hard for you because Ironman is your preferred distance, your more suited distance, but you can't race Ironmans all the time.
No, you can't.
To get those data points. So you're trying to pick up Ironman based data points from non-Ironman races, which is hard, isn't it? But you did a really good job of that, didn't you, this time?
So
it sounded really patronising, sorry, it wasn't meant to, but
so I was really how I assessed it, and then was able to kind of draw on some useful bits of info to assess where I'm at. Then it was good. So and then we went and did a bigger bike to run session yesterday as well, and recovery and bounce back's been super quick. And that was the other thing that I really wanted to make sure I focused on, was the post race recovery, and being really diligent with how I approach that as well. Of that race is done. Really happy with execution, but now it's thinking about how do I make sure over this next, what we've probably got about 10 days or so, how do I make sure I've set myself up for the best possible quality training with the longer term view of the Ironman in only a few weeks time.
Okay, fantastic. Good. And well organised. I mean, I've already talked about that in my video, haven't I? But
I love the Santa the races. The
Green team, Fabio,
just always on it, and they just flipping love it. The thing is, they just truly live and breathe it. They're not doing it for just doing it. They just actually enjoy doing it as well.
They didn't love the turnaround. The 2 girls who did the turnaround, I was impressed with their level of tolerance, because I reckon I stood there for a little while with them, and I reckon that 30% of the athletes couldn't tell the difference between what. So it was 2 laps of 5k. The number of athletes that got that wrong was remarkable. You'd kind of think you'd be able to tell the difference between 5k and 10k, or at least know that it was a 2-lap course, or if you knew it was a 2-lap course, be able to count to 2. 1, 2, they're quite different, right? But I reckon a third of athletes came to that turn point not knowing whether they needed to go to the finish or carry on round for a second lap. Incredible. Remarkable.
Yes.
So, but they were very patient with them.
They were.
It was quite entertaining. Right, so it was a good day.
Good day.
Worth coming to do.
100%.
And now it's the final build to the Ironman.
Big one.
And it looks like, not dropping any bombshells, but it looks like it's going to be a really good field. Group of ladies that you're going to really enjoy racing against, and one that provides an opportunity that you haven't quite had before.
Yes.
Over full distance. So we'll see.
Here we go.